We started something new at the channel yesterday and we're keeping it going today, and I'm flipping things around, and just like yesterday, that flip, what it means and why I'm doing it will come at the end of this video because it would defeat the purpose to do it at the start. So let's park all that and get straight into these shoes and talk about what's going on today with these two Nike Air Jordan 1 mids, the Crimson Tint and the Tropical Twist. Both of them mids, and we're going to start straight in with the one difference between the two, because they're just basically the same shoe. You hold them up and you'd be like, wow, these are identical shoes. The only thing that's flipped out is that back end color, but there's one little difference that stands out between the two. And to do that, to get to that, we'll start with the black and then we'll work our way through the colors and get to the white bits. So black bits first. Let's look at the toe on these guys. Both of them, you've got the Crimson Tint and you've got the Tropical Twist, and both of them have that black toe feel to them. And you go back from that and get to the quarter line, which is also in black. Up onto the laces, black continues through there and then into the tongue branding, and then on into the lining. Black, 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 black. All over the front end of these shoes, the black is the thing that continues throughout both colorways. But when you get to the outsole, bang, there's the Crimson Tint outsole, and it is a Crimson Tint outsole, but then ding, there's the black that comes in on the Tropical Twist, guys. So it's there in the outsole that things are different. And I just have a feeling, just for me, maybe I'm the only person out there, but I think it's a little bit sexist, that the black ones, as far as I'm aware, and I might be wrong in this, feel free to hit me in the comments down below if I am, but the one with the black outsole is the Tropical Twists are full-size run, whereas the one with the actual, the Crimson Tint outsole is a women's shoe. And I just think there's a sort of, I don't know, I just feel like, why didn't they just go with the same sort of feel, the same sort of story of the shoes as they went with both of them? So the Crimson Tint having a Crimson Tint outsole, why can't the Tropical Twist have a Tropical Twist outsole as well? But that's the only difference that I can find between the two shoes, and it's the major point, the major thing to look at. There is another place, actually, now that I think about it, that's black on these guys, and on both of them, again, exactly the same place. It's up with the Wings logo on the ankle straps on both of these guys as well. It's also done in black. So that whole black line that runs all the way through the shoes and finishes with the outsoles on the Tropical Twist, but doesn't with the outsoles on the Crimson Tint, is the one difference between the two shoes. And on top of that, there's a bunch of other stuff to look at in terms of the colors as well, and also the white parts of the shoes, and also on top of that, some stories about the branding as well. So let's get into it and have a look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 1 Mids, Crimson Tint and Tropical Twist. This is the Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bara 23 Sneaker Channel desu. Mainichi Yapsuru no Day, Mainichi Mite Kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, sticker reviews, and we're flipping things around, and like I said, we'll get to that at the end of the video. But let's just keep churning on with the features on these shoes. And I think the next thing to go have a look at is the tongues on them, which are very easy to see in the Tropical Twist. There they are right there, and you can see the black tongue, the black branding panel, and then the Tropical Twist Jumpman in the same colorway as the rest. Now I want to say taupe only because yesterday we did the two Air Jordan 4s from the Union line, and one of them was taupe, and the only reason I know that it was taupe, T-A-U-P, and not T-O-P-E, is because I literally googled T-A-U-P pronunciation, and instead of saying taupe, it says it's taupe. And it kind of looks like the same colorway as these guys, although those Unions are an absolutely wild shoe. They've taken the Jordan 4 and turned it into something completely different, whereas these guys are very much the Jordan 1 mids, very, very much. So sticking with what we were doing before, let's jump into the color side of things on these guys, because I did say that basically the color on them is exactly the same. We've already looked at the tongues on the Crimson Tints, I think it is. Is it the Crimson Tints or no? I think it's the Tropical Twist that I'll already have shown you the tongues on, because the other one, I found it really hard to find a picture of the tongues. And what you'll be able to see here is a sort of side-on look where you kind of catch the Jumpman just ever so slightly peeking out from the side of the shoes. But you can still see the black branding panel, the black tongues, and then a hint at that Jumpman on there in the colorway of the shoe. So it's still the same up there, but we're getting into the colors now, so that means you have to drop down onto the ankles. I already talked about the black Wings logo that features on both of these guys, but now we're up onto the actual flaps themselves, and again in both colorways, the Tropical twist and the crimson tint. And then down from that we get to the heel and the swoosh on the side of both of these guys, and again it's in those two major colours. Like I say, I mean, you could almost just flip out the colouring on these guys. The ankle flaps, the swoosh and the heel cup are done in the colours, and they're exactly the opposite. Crimson tint and the tropical twist just flipping out on there, and hopefully I'm able to show you that through what we're doing today on the green screen here. And since we're coming that way, we might as well come forward, and we finally got to the midfoot area, and behind the swoosh on both of these guys you've got that white midfoot area, and we finish off our little trip around the shoe by getting to the toe box and back to where we started, whereas we were looking at the toe box being in black, now we're looking at the panel being in white. And like I say, every single feature on these shoes is exactly transferable from crimson tint to tropical twist, except for that outsole on there. That's the only detail on these guys that doesn't follow the same sort of pattern or the same sort of rhythm between the two shoes. Now coming back out, I did talk about flipping things out at the start of this video. One of the things we're trying to do is I'm trying to cram the front end of the video with the details about the shoe, and then sort of leave the story of the shoe to the back end of the video. Because usually what I would do, or what I have been doing, is starting out with like a broad look at the shoe, talk about its story, where its place is, maybe talk about the drop date, for example, June the 22nd on these guys, all that stuff at the start, and gradually you start with the big information and get smaller and smaller and more detailed, so you're getting to the real hits of the shoe into the middle or the end of the video is what I've been doing before. But then I realized, you know, especially with those Jordan 4s yesterday with the unions that we were looking at, there's some details on there about the tongues that are extremely unique, never been seen before in my opinion on Jordan 4s. A great collaboration, great little story there, and that's what the first thing that people want to know about. So I thought, you know what, why don't we cram that stuff in at the start? Let's go with the hits and the stuff, the details on the shoe, and then as we go through the video we'll start small and gradually work to broad, instead of starting broad and gradually work to small. So that's what I meant at the start of this video about flipping things out and doing things differently. And now hopefully you've got an idea of what I'm talking about. You kind of get the picture of what we're doing, and now we're getting to the latter half of this video, which means we're getting into that broader stuff and talking more widely about the shoes. And the last sort of thing that I want to get into in that broad, more wide sense of things is a quick tip for people out there who are new to sneakers, that when you're trying to work out if it's a mid versus a high, sometimes especially when you're dealing with pictures, it's a little bit difficult to sort of see it's a mid or a high, and then kind of waste a bit of time trying to work it out. The eyelets is the giveaway. 8 eyelets on a Jordan 1 mid, 9 eyelets on a Jordan 1 high. So you can see hopefully on the green screen here, I think I'm right in saying it's the middle section on there has 3 eyelets on it, but on a Jordan 1 high that middle section would have 4 eyelets on it, so it would go 3, 4, 2 instead of 3, 3, 2 through the shoe, and that's how you can quickly tell the difference between a mid and a Jordan 1 high. So so that's kind of our take on these guys. And like I said, I'm not so thrilled about the fact that they're going into that a black outsole on what looks like the general release, but then the crimson tint outsole on what looks like a women's release. I think there's something a bit iffy about that. Maybe I'm oversensitive to these things. Maybe I'm a little too woke. Maybe that's the problem here, is that I should look at it differently. But I would just think, you know, putting these guys out side by side, both of them coming on June the 22nd, the same date, both of them mids, everything else on the shoe is exactly the same except for the trade out in the colours. Then why didn't they do that with the outsole? It's kind of, you know, for me it's a big deal, but that's just the way I kind of look at things. And the other thing as well, this is the kind of thing that I would say at the start, or used to say at the start of videos, is I don't usually do doubles like this, put 2 shoes into one video, unless I've got a very, very good reason to do it. And then yet, having said that, I did exactly that yesterday, where I put 2 Jordan 4s from the Union line into one video, and here I am putting 2 Jordan 1 mids into the same video. And it's not really my style. I don't really like to do that, but the thing is, with these 2 videos, it's almost impossible not to talk about the other shoe, so you might as well cram them together. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be back to single shoe content. I actually don't like doing Jordan shoes as well, because there's just so many people out there who are so much better at it than I am. Fact. So maybe tomorrow we'll see what's coming down the line. Hopefully it'll be something that's a bit more my wheelhouse, and we'll get back to the single shoe usual rhythm, but still with that flip where we do the details at the start and the chat at the end. Fingers crossed that pattern is going to be working out for people out there. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. For now though, it's time for me just to wrap this one up and finish up another video on this charge towards 1,000 consecutive days on YouTube. We're almost there. We're well into the 900s. Another 80 days of consecutive content and we'll be at 1,000 consecutive days on YouTube. Something to look forward to. For now though, time to thank you guys for checking out the content. Wrapping up another video for today, but because I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.